Alright guys, so today we're going to do a build, a TC build for Sins of a Solar Empire 2. And this is a build I've been working on for a couple of, for the last 2 weeks. The game is recently released, so there's a lot of figuring out to do for everyone. But have been having a lot of success with this build. And I think that it actually works relatively well. Probably there's a lot of optimizations that you could do, but overall I think the idea is correct. So let's get into it. So we're gonna be selecting TEC-primacy, and what TEC-primacy is really good at, of course, is offense. And for this build that we're going to do an offensive push at 45 minutes. So that's the sort of goal here. We're gonna have an army, and we're gonna have a really strong army at 45 minutes. And we're going to push on our opponent, and we're either gonna just kill them outright, which, you know, most people are not gonna be able to handle the sort of push we're gonna be able to get at 45 minutes here. Or if we can't kill them, we're just going to, you know, harass them a little bit, poke them a little bit, send part of our army behind enemy lines, you know, keep his attention, you know. And what this will allow us to do is either, of course, as I said, just win outright, or we are going to distract him enough so that we can tech up into our even higher tech, get our Titan, and, you know, upgrade our Titan eventually, and use that to be able to punch through whatever defense or starbase or bullshit that he's been able to amass so far. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, I will be running this game at normal game speeds. So this is, of course, most people run at a little bit higher, faster game speeds. I do too. I think it's nice. My favorite is 1.25. Many people like to run 1.5. This game I'm just running regular game speed. But you can do whatever the hell you want. This is no problem. I'm going to run 1 game speed here just because it's easier to talk and play at the same time when the game runs a little bit slower. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do here every game. So I'm going to be testing this build on a 1v1 map because it just makes it a little bit more consistent. So this is where I've been practicing at least. But you can use this build not only on 1v1 maps, but also on 2v2 maps, 3v3 maps, whatever, okay? And, well, sometimes you're gonna get into an eco spot when you're playing 3v3 or higher games, which means an eco spot basically means you have no opponents on either side, you have only teammates on either side. Because if you're 3 players, you might spawn with 1 player to your left, 1 player to your right. So this is an economy spot. If you spawn in an economy spot, this build is not going to be as effective. But the general idea can still be used. It can be adapted, I think. But okay, enough talking. Let's get into the build. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do, start of every game, is you're going to want to upgrade mining. I like to start with mining because with this build we're going to be metal starved in the beginning. So getting that little bit extra metal income is going to be very nice there again. And what I like to do is I just like to queue everything on the economy here on our capital planet right away. Very important to get your economy going early. Now, next, what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to select Akan battle cruiser as our first capital ship. Okay, so some people are gonna frown at this. They hate the Akan. This is, I think, sort of a debate which one is best, the Akan or, you know, Many people like to start with the cool battleship together with colony frigate in order to have some extra combat power early, to clear the asteroids a little faster. This is a fair, this is also a completely fair way to play. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with Akan though, either. And I really like the Akan, because although the Akan has very poor, combative power compared to Cole, or some Marsa, or something like that, what Akan will allow us to do is it's going to allow us to jumpstart our economy really, really hard, okay? So we're going to get a really good early game economy. And what we're going to do is we're going to compensate for the lack of combative power that the Akan has in the early game by building a quite early second capital ship. And it's going to be our cool battleship. And you can actually guarantee to build this. Okay, so we're going to see. But, okay. Let's for now. And, one more thing about the Akan here. Because we start with the Akan, we're sort of we're committing to a certain kind of intention here. We're not going to go particularly aggressive. So, Akan is not an aggressive battleship. But it sort of scales very well, of course, because it lets us jumpstart our economy. And once we get to that, 30-minute mark, 20-minute mark, or even earlier than that, Akan economy is really going to start to matter, and we're going to outscale cold battleships. Cold battleship starts. Because, of course, economy outscales early aggression if you're able to hold. So the enemy has to either pressure you enough so that the economy, you have to spend some of your early game economy to hold off the opponent's aggression, or they have to sort of, just outright kill you early. And this build is designed so they won't be able to do that very easily. Okay, so we got our cold battleship. Next, we're going to select Civic Research Station. We're going to build one Civic Research Station here to get our civilian research going. Going to run the game here now.
Up and ready to go.
We're going to select our Akan. We're going to select it to our fleet. Select Colonize as our first ability. And now what we're going to do is we're going to want to go for an asteroid right away. This is very important. And next, what we're going to do, because Akan is, of course, this is a completely fair point. Akan is very poor at combat, okay? So we need to get some extra frigates here to help us clear the planets. We're gonna get 8. I like getting 8. It gives us 94 supply here. You could get one more, that's fine. But I like getting 8 just because it allows you to fill out your supply with 3 extra scouts early. And scouting is very underrated. Scouting is very good. So we're gonna fill out our supply with 3 extra scouts.
Mining upgrade
eventually.
Complete.
Okay, so I'm just gonna guess that there's an asteroid here. So I'm just gonna pre-move the Akan here to move backwards because I want to get the planets back here, so I don't have to go all the way back later. I think that's gonna be fine. So once our Civic Research Station finishes, we're gonna want to press this, try to upgrade to Civilian 1 right away. And we're just gonna tell our Akan to jump.
Civilian structure complete.
Now, very important with Akan start. What's the point of Akan start? How to get our economy started early? Well, it's this. You get this ability. Mobile Trade Port. This is really OP. This, very strong at least. Because it gives you 2 export points at level 1. And because of that, to help our economy in the early game to synergize really well, we're actually going to go for 1 early trade port. So we're going to research rush one trade port. This is going to be very important for economies. We're researching that right away. And you see why we started by upgrading mining. We have some quite poor metal supply here. because we build
What
cobalts,
now?
they're quite heavy on metal, and some buildings. So we need to get that
How can I
metal
be of service?
going right away.
Scouts have found a colonizable planet.
Okay, so let's
We're
go to
underway.
this droid.
Civilian research tier complete.
Civilian research tier complete. We have the orbital commerce going. Very nice.
Reporting
okay.
in.
He doesn't want to jump
Ahead
for some
slow.
reason. He moves very weird.
Commerce upgrade complete. All hands, prepare for phase jump.
Okay, so now we're not really gonna do anything. And now here's what you can do here when you're colonizing.
Give the
You
order.
select your ships. You tell them to
Just a short
focus
detour
the
while
cross
we
of siege
clear a
frigate.
path.
And you don't have to wait for them to kill the siege frigate. Just freaking colonize
underway.
right away. Your ships, like even if you have Akan and like one cobalt, they're going to be able to kill the
A
cross
new
of
colony
before it
has been
kills your
founded.
ship. Okay, so now what we're gonna do here is we're going to upgrade this as far as we can right away. And since we have a derelict here, we have to adapt a little bit. I'm going to get derelict specialist here right after trade port.
What now?
Okay, so
Scouts have found a colonizable
let's
planet.
just keep hitting this
This
cross
should be a
of siege
routine
frigate.
combat mission. How can I be of service? Hold tight. This'll only
Yeah,
take a
this
minute.
is fine, this is fine.
Our planet is under siege.
Let's just spend our money here while we can to get the final commerce upgrade.
Mining
And now
upgrade
what we're gonna do
complete.
here is we're gonna wanna save for
How
the
can I
trade
be of
port.
service?
Okay?
Civilian
So
research
because we
complete.
want to get the trade port here as early as possible to synergize with our Akan. And
A sound
I'm actually gonna
plan.
send the Akan here.
This should be a routine combat mission.
Just capture the derelict while the other ships are fighting. Keep trying to capture it. So, you know, trade ports are very expensive, especially in the early game. Need 250 metal, which is a lot of metal. So, again, we're metal starved.
Got
We
a
need
job for
to
me?
get that metal economy going. See, I upgraded mining here right away as well.
How can
on
I
our
be of
Astro.
service?
Okay. So we have this finishing up here. So I would actually, because we can afford a trade port right away, I'm just gonna apply that.
Civilian research complete.
But,
Reporting
and you
in.
see, our Akan levels level 2 here. Usually Akan levels level 2 on our second planet, but now because there's a derelict spawn here with some extra ships, it's going to level up a little bit faster. But usually what ends up
sound
happening
plan.
here is that
Commerce
our trade
upgrade
port ends up
complete.
finishing right as our Akan is fighting the militia on the second planet. And once Akan levels up, it fits in quite nicely here with the trade port actually finishing. So the trade port usually finishes about the time when Akan levels up. Does so
How
now
can I
as
be
well.
of service?
But you're not always going to have a derelict.
We're
So that's why it's
underway.
important to.
All hands, prepare for phase jump.
Well, that's why it's important to. Anyways, it's important to have a trade port early
Civilian
because
structure complete.
just because of that. Okay, so now. Okay, now I screwed up a little bit because I'm talking, so I'm gonna have to get this a little bit
Just
later.
a short
It's
detour
fine.
while we clear a path. Our fleet is under attack.
What are we supposed to do here? Right. Another thing here that you might want to think about is I mean, this is just common sense, but you want to have
Scouts
things
have found a
researching.
colonizable planet.
Like if you see this bar going up here, I mean, the optimal thing here is that you want to have this bar, if you can, be running at all times. Because then you're actually spending your time doing something productive with your research. I haven't spent anything on military research yet. This is because, again, we're metal starved in the beginning. We don't have infinite resources. So we're just going to prioritize getting our civilian structure. And since we're not running into other players, early game, usually, can skip military research for a little bit. And now, we have one trade port here. So we're going to go to trade. Going to select 3 boxes here to get our early trade port income going. And you see, this gives you 2 extra credits per second, 1 extra metal per second, and 1 extra crystal per second. That is insane. That is an insane early game income. And I mean, this really, you can really feel this while you're playing. Like if you're playing at a cold start, I challenge you to try this because you can feel a huge difference and in your economic growth here. And also another thing that I forgot to mention is that on Akan's colonization ability, you get an extra logistic slots, of course, which means that with these 2 logistic slots that you get for free, you can actually just build a trade port right away. You don't have to spend money to upgrade logistics, which would be 300 gold and, well, 150 metal and 70 crystal. So the trade ports actually get 300, yeah, this much cheaper. And we're going to be able to use all the export slots here instantly. I mean, this is extremely efficient. And this is the point of Akan, right? Even if we don't have the combat power early, we're getting an insane economic advantage over our opponent that is going to scale very well into the late game.
How can
Let's
I be
go.
of service?
Okay. Now we have some extra cash here. About our 2nd to 3rd planet here, since the 2nd planet here is a volcanic planet with a little bit more militia. I'm just going to, and I like to use the time when I have the planets with a little bit more militia to do some small stuff. Now we're actually going to get our military lab. We're going to queue the upgrade there right away. And we're going to queue supply and military grade specs. We want that extra damage in order to clear a little bit faster. Alright. And we're actually going to start use this time in between colonization while we're clearing this planet here. We do this every game. We're going to go and double click survey on our home planet. Now what does this allow us to do? Well, you can see I didn't know this at first, but you can see that surveying actually gives guaranteed exotics on certain planets. On your home planet, the first survey is going to give you 1 Endurium. And 1 Endurium, well, you need that for a cold battleship. So we press that. And what are we going to get next if we press it again? We're going to get 1 guaranteed Endurium and 1 Tauronite. So this will give us guaranteed 2 Endurium and 1 Tauronite.
Civilian research
And
complete.
why is that good? Well,
A new colony
of
has
course
been
it is
founded.
because cool battleship costs exactly 1
Scouts have
Tauronite
found a
and 2
colonizable
Endurium.
planet.
So we have a guaranteed exotics for cool battleship now, which is really good. So we get the mining upgrades right away.
How can I be of
And we're
service?
also going to get 2
Insufficient metal.
research points here for our research rate. I'm just doing this because I know we're going to need it later. You know,
Civilian
to
structure
get
complete.
these, there is a planet item here. There are 2 planet items. One is Civic University. The other is Military Research Base. What these do, if you put it on your planet, you get either 2, if you do Military Research Base, you get 2 military research points. And if you do Civic, you get 2 Civic Research Station, or sorry, Civic University. You get 2 civilian research points. But in order to get this, the planet level that you have here must be at least 5. And with your Akan, you need to press double upgrade. You need to upgrade your planet 4 times in order for the planet to become level 5. So I need to go for research rate here twice in order to get my planet to level 5. If you have an ice planet, if you get an ice planet early, the ice planet will actually, you can just go double commerce upgrade on an ice planet and then double mining upgrade. And you're gonna get those, that level 5 on your ice planet just by doing
the
your
order.
economy upgrades on your planet. But since we're volcanic planets, we can't get commerce upgrades early on it. We're just going to go double research rate, which is actually not bad. I mean, research rate is quite good, even early game. So we're just
Got
gonna go
a
double
job for
there.
me?
And
Mining
since we're
upgrade
quite
complete.
unlucky with the
Where do you need me?
planet spawns
Ahead
here,
slow.
we're gonna have some
Exotic
time
resources
now
have
to
been
do
located
some
by our survey
miscellaneous
teams.
things.
Civilian research complete.
Okay, and we're also, as I said, we're going to get now, use this
Military
time to
research
get
gear
our
complete.
3 extra scouts. We want to scout the entire galaxy. So once the galaxy has been scouted entirely, I can just preemptively say this, we're going to want to start microing our scouts a little bit more. So good. I mean, you could micro your scouts earlier as well. I like to do it when the galaxy has been explored. Okay, so now we have our basic provisioning going. We're gonna save now for a cold battleship, okay? Because we're gonna get our exotics here quite soon. So we're gonna wanna use those to kind of get our early cold battleship. See, we have our money going here right away. So it's going to be quite nice in the timing here. And we don't have anything going here on our civilian research, right? So that's important. Let's not beat around the bush here. Let's try to research things, even though it costs us a little bit of money.
How can I be of service? We're underway.
Let's go.
Military research complete.
Military research complete. And now we're going to get our stuff for a cool battleship very, very soon.
Fleet deployment acknowledged. Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams.
Here we go.
Ahead slow.
We're gonna need 850 metal here. I'm gonna press that.
Civilian research complete.
And
how can I be of service?
That will show up right away. Now, if possible, also, this is quite expensive, so you might wanna, choose your time while doing this. But it's kind of nice to have a continuous frigate production as well. But they build very quickly, so you're not gonna have the money. You wanna research as well. Okay, so what's the next step here? We're of course gonna take the next planet, but our next step here, in general, research-wise, it's going to be tier 4 civilian, okay? And I like to use... Sorry, just gonna tell them again to attack the siege frigate. Tell that one to colonize asteroid.
A new colony has been
founded. Upgrade that right away. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go for tier 4 civilian, and to do that we need 3 more civilian research points. Now what I like to do is I like to use the first large planet that I capture as my research, as my second research planet. Okay, so since we get 2 civilian orbit slots here, we have 2 free civilian orbit slots to get our labs. I'm gonna get a civilian lab here. And just to save some logistic slots here, we're gonna use our home planet to get the final 2 civilian research points. So we're gonna go, can't afford it yet, but we're gonna get Civic University on our home planet here to get those 2 final civilian
Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Mining upgrade complete.
Okay, let's just wait for that. And press it right away.
What now?
Alright, let's go. This is gonna die now. I'm just gonna tell my ship preemptively to go here.
Where do you need me? A sound plan.
Let everything jump there. Now we can upgrade to civilian 2. Very nice, very nice. Oh, and don't forget to use this, by the way. This is quite nice to use. Okay, now this is quite nice as well. If there's a neutral faction, which is TEC neutral faction, if you can reveal it eventually, you're going to get even more export points. So see, now we can use all of our export points that we get from the Akan here to just completely get an insane economy. And if you were a little bit faster than me, you could of course micro your scouts yourself to try to scout out the minor factions faster. Yeah, so that's one thing that you're maybe gonna wanna have to think about. Yeah, everything is about to jump here. And why do we rush Civilian 2? Well, we're just in this expansion phase now. We're just trying to get the sort of baseline economy so that we can support our army build-up later. And what I like to do here when I'm in Civilian 2 is there are a few upgrades that I like to prioritize. I'd like to get modular architecture right away. And then I go for rapid hydrometallurgy or prestigious investment, depending on what I feel like. And once I get these two, I go for shockwave pulverization to get some extra crystal mining as well. Now, some people are gonna ask, why don't you build exotic refineries? Well, exotic refineries are extremely expensive, okay? They require 3 civilian orbit slots. They're very expensive. I mean, they take quite a while to get to for the research to complete. And they're just very expensive to build. They take 3 civilian orbit slots. I mean, as TC, I think that you can play much more efficiently just by skipping exotics refineries until you get to sort of a high point. I mean, many people like to go for many capital ships. I just think that kind of, I don't know, my sense has been that this is a large investment early and it doesn't do well against early aggression. I might be a little bit wrong here, but I at least think that I am semi-right about that. So let's go
prepare
for
for
the asteroid.
Civilian structure
SQ
complete.
modular architecture right away. And now we're going to just
Where
be
do you
tuning a
need
little
me?
bit more ships.
Additional
We're
credits
gonna
required.
when I get to that
Commerce
250
upgrade
supply.
complete.
I'm gonna upgrade Fusilade on my capital ship here.
What now? Our fleet is under
And
attack.
press the
Just a short
Force of
detour
Siege
while we
frigate.
clear a path.
Use that to
How can I be of service? Ahead slow. A new colony has been founded.
let's upgrade it
What
right
now?
away.
Scouts have found a colonizable planet. Planet item complete.
Okay.
Reporting
Get
in.
some more ships. And just preemptively get... No, we can't afford that. Okay.
We're underway.
Clear that out.
Where do you
Okay,
need me?
now we get to our
A
final
sound
planet. Now we're
plan.
gonna get to our goal of 6 planets here. And we see it's 14 minutes. We're
How can I be
almost
of service?
at our desired state here. We're about to approach 250 supply. And we're also going to be able to afford the trade ports eventually. And this is what modular architecture is for. That's why I like to rush that. Because
Civilian
what
research
modular
here
architecture
complete.
does
Mining
is
upgrade
it reduces
complete.
your building costs by 25%, which is a lot when you consider trade ports, because trade ports are very expensive. So expensive buildings, of course, benefit more from percentage reducing cost. So yeah, let's run it. We're gonna get trade ports on our asteroids now once we have modular architecture. Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought we had it for some reason. No. Okay. So we're gonna want to wait till that finishes, hopefully, and we're gonna want to spend our money in the meantime on other stuff. So, military research lab.
Place am I.
And now you can see we have preempted what we want here. So we're gonna want to use this volcanic planet to get our military research base for 2 military research points. And unless we didn't get these 2 research rate points earlier, we wouldn't be able to get it and we would have to wait. So that's why we got those right away. Now I get the military research base. We're gonna wanna go military 2.
Give the order.
Okay, this militia is a little bit
Commerce
larger,
upgrade
but I have 2 capital
This should
ships.
be a routine
Shouldn't be a
combat
problem.
mission. Hold
I'm
tight.
gonna just focus the
This'll
siege
only
frigate
take
so
a
I
minute.
can
Just a short detour while we
colonize a
clear
little bit
path.
faster.
Our fleet is under attack.
And we go for military 2. And I might just get these while I can. I'm not sure. Let's go. Is there anything I missed here? Don't think so. We have 2 upgrades queuing. And now, as our modular architecture finishes, of course, we want to
Civilian
get
structure
our
complete.
trade ports going.
Got a job for me?
So that's nice. And I'm gonna
Let
get
this be
inspiring
a
broadcast
lesson.
here.
Next time, pay up.
I think
A
inspiring
sound
broadcast
plan.
is gonna scale very well
Civilian
into what we
research
want to do
complete.
here with our mid-game push.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna
You
go
twisted
use
me
my
arm.
influence. And again, we have money here for our trade port.
Military
Gonna get a
research
trade port
complete.
there. We're gonna get trade port here. No, we have one there already. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get
A
trade
new
port here.
colony has been founded.
Watch our new planet. Going to upgrade the mining there.
Additional credits required.
There we go.
Planet
And what I
item
like to do
complete.
here, immediately on my forward planet, is I like to get at least 1 light factory on it right away. So that if your opponent just comes in with some stupid aggressive maneuver here, you're at least going to have some way to replenish your army. It's going to give you a little bit more defensive power against any early aggression. And okay, I forgot this now, but okay, look. We have scouted out the entire galaxy. What do?
What do you need to know?
We select our scout. We turn off auto explore. We're going to tell our scout to just... Okay, no, I failed.
Looking for
We're going to tell our
something?
scout to just
I'll
sit
find a
around
way.
here.
Mining
And the militia
upgrade
isn't
complete.
going to attack it. Okay, and we're going
Looking for
to select
something?
another scout. We're going to tell it to sit just right
I'm
here.
already there.
Our final
Where to
scout,
now?
we're going to tell it to
Preparing
just
for
go
phase
here.
jump. Civilian
And then
structure complete.
right
On my
here.
way.
No, sorry.
I'm already
I don't know
there.
what's best, but we can
Military
just go
research
to
complete.
that planet
On my way.
afterwards.
Civilian
Okay,
structure
and now
complete.
we upgrade our home planet. We're gonna
Military
want to get
research
a
gear complete.
trade port there as well. And once military research finishes here, there are some things that you want to prioritize in military 2. The first thing you're gonna want to get always, so this is the order, you're gonna want to get gang of freebooters right away. I mean, this is a completely ridiculous research. It gives you 100 supply for basically no commitment. It's a ridiculous upgrade. I mean, I said I wasn't going to abuse pirates. I am going to abuse these pirates. I'm not going to get the pirate mercenary bases, but this is just too good to pass up. I mean, if you're playing TEC-primacy and you're not getting this, I'm not sure what you're doing. This is just completely ridiculous upgrade. It just, yeah, it gives you so much basically for free that it's not even funny. So, yeah, and you can overcap your supply as well with this. So even if your max supply is 250, if you get this, you get 350 supply, and you don't need to get provisioning doctrine. Okay, let's go. One, and let's see. We're just going to use the market here to get it a little bit quicker. And we're going to get scaling our economy.
Ahead slow.
19 minutes, we're approaching 20 minutes, which is our first convergence point here. We're gonna go with this. See, do I have I wanted? We have trade ports going there. It's good. but we don't have enough
structure
ships, so
complete.
we're gonna go
Reporting
start
in.
focus on building some
Additional
ships here.
credits required.
Yeah. Alright,
Where
let's
do you
do
need
some
me?
more ships.
Additional credits
I'm a little bit
required.
behind on ship production here.
Reporting in. Logistics upgrade.
Okay, so now we hit 20 minutes. This wasn't perfect. I mean, I'm a little bit behind on ships here. They're gonna come in quite quickly here, so it's not too much of a problem. We used our money, we spent our money elsewhere, so that's fine. If our opponent were to decide to attack us very early now, this would be sort of a disadvantage because my army wouldn't be as large as it should be. So this makes you a little bit less safe. But for now, just for demonstration's sake, it's not a problem.
Where do you need me?
But we should still keep to our plan, so we're gonna go for these frigates. I mean, these are Cobalts, don't scale very well, but they're quite strong early, and in large numbers, they do actually a reasonable amount of damage, even to capital ships. Focused exploration. No, sorry, this isn't what I want to get. I want to get prestigious investments, get some more influence points. Okay, and this is what I call the build-up phase. So we're gonna get an saleable fortress here if we can, and we're gonna select that on this forward planet.
Civilian structure complete.
So, oh, I forgot to finish my thought about what order you want to get the upgrades. So, the order you want to get upgrades now to get to our desired build path here is going to be Gang of Freebooters. We're going to go, after Gang of Freebooters, we go Provisioning Doctrine for that extra supply count. Then, research Hoshikus right away, as soon as we can. And after those three, we're going to immediately spec into Military 3, spec into Harkas, and then we get fuel efficient deployment right after Harkas. Okay, so let's see if we can do that.
Give the order.
So this part of the game is usually pretty chill for you, unless your opponent decides to attack. But that's the thing, like, of course, you don't... I mean, if your opponent doesn't have anything, if you're like, look, and you see that, oh, he doesn't have an army, or his army kind of sucks, or whatever, of course you go attack him, right? But since you started Akan, since you started this economy build, since Cobalt light frigates are quite vulnerable against the wrong kind of units, you're gonna be a little bit careful here, because you don't want to lose this defensive army here and just lose the game right away. So don't take too much risks. Of course, you should go poke your opponent, distract them a little bit, but don't take any big risks. Don't risk losing your army for nothing and just losing the game while you're building up to your desired supply count. Yes,
Military research complete.
Beautiful. Military research complete. Now we got the freebooters. We're gonna select them to our army group. And you see we have 378 supply. This is mostly defensive supply. We can use it, of course, if your opponent doesn't have very much. We could go attack him. Like this bot, for example, doesn't have basically anything. I could probably just, I could go kill him right now, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna wanna show the build order. So we can just sit here, we're chilling, keep upgrading some stuff, I guess. What are we gonna get? Could get rapid deployment as well. Military research, we got Hoshikos. And now, what's very nice, I think, to do is on your forward planet, you're gonna wanna go for the logistics upgrade on your forward planet. And you're gonna wanna get 2 heavy factories. this is in preparation for to build our ships later. So if we're gonna get to 1,000 supply here at 40 to 45 minutes, we're gonna need 2 heavy factories, okay? And we want them at the front lines. Both because the reinforcements are gonna be quicker once we start fighting our opponent. Or well, that's basically the point. So both defensively and offensively, our reinforcements are going to get there quicker. Okay, perfect. I gotta go for credits here. We are short on some crystal. And now once we have all of this, as I said, we're gonna go for Harkas right away. And this fits in quite nicely with our plan. So we're gonna go for, need to upgrade actually some logistic slots here.
Military research complete.
Let's get a trade port as well on
complete.
our volcanic planet, because the extra economy is going to be nice. We're gonna just rush some military research stations there, so now we're up to 6. Very nice. We can use some of our influence to just try to go for that extra metal. Be really nice.
Reporting in.
And we can actually just use our asteroids here to get the final 2 military research points. See, we're getting our reinforcement with the pirates here. Very nice. And now we're just gonna want to save up for our save up for our upgrade. Sell some metal. We're going to go for military 3. Very nice, very nice. Let's continue here.
Civilian structure
Using
complete.
our money. Like, you see, if my opponent were to decide to attack me right now, like, of course I had the Akan start, so I don't have like 2 battleships. But I mean, of course, if my opponent attacks me now, this is very difficult to break, I think. Because I have at least 1 coal, I have a lot of Cobalt Light frigates, I have Defender's advantage, I can build a retrofit base or turrets even. I could use my influence points to get extra gas cannons, actually just do that for fun. So I can just get a gas cannon here for some extra
Got
defense.
a job for me?
So I mean, this is very difficult for most opponents to break, unless they go for some complete. I'm not sure, I haven't met anyone that can break this easily yet. So this is a very nice defensive setup here, which plays very well into our plan for later. Push eagles, we're gonna get 1 repair platform just for safety, I think. And we are going to sell so that we can get our Harka
Military research
upgrade
complete.
here. Just buy some
Civilian
stuff.
structure complete.
Get that.
Planet item complete.
Are we researching something? Yes,
Civilian
good.
research complete.
And now we go for fuel efficient deployment, just in preparation for amassing this large army that we're about to get. Perfect. So this is this is a critical part of the build, because now you have quite a bit of an army, but you're not really building anything, or you're not building anything army-wise. So that's why we take this relatively defensive stance, because, I mean, if we lose this army, our production isn't done yet, so we're not going to be able to get our supply back very quickly. So it's very important that this army doesn't die now. It's going to make us die altogether if this army dies now, so that's where we're kind of chilling. Okay, let's continue. We're actually gonna do the surveying now, because we want to get at least 1 extra capital ship for later. And we have reassigned to Crystal because we have very good metal income. Is there anything else we forgot to do here? Don't think so. We have 1 trade port on each planet. We're using all of our logistic slots. Now, okay. This is very good to mention. Very important here. Once you get to military 3, it's very important to start amassing some research rate. like when you're in tier 2, both civilian and military, you can kind of get away with not having research rate done, or having any research rate. Like your research is going to finish at least reasonably quickly. It's not going to be quick for some of the tier 2 research, but it's going to feel like it at least finishes somewhat at an okay time. Once you start getting into tier 3 or even higher end upgrades, research, it's very important to have a research rate, because it's just gonna take too long otherwise to get to research. So we're gonna get research here, here, and here, just in preparation. And you see now our Hoshikos are about to finish. Excuse me. So once our Hoshikos finishes, we're gonna want to start building Hoshikos constantly. And that's because we want to try to get our Hoshiko count up while our Harkas are finishing. So that by the time our Harkas are finishing, we're gonna want to get a bunch of Harkas, or we're gonna want to try to research, or we're gonna try to build as many Harkas as possible. So if we have our Hoshikos completely, or at least almost built already, then we can just focus on the Harkas, and it's just much more convenient that way.
What now?
Okay. Is there anything? Okay, so this is a good. Let's just look. Do I have anything in the civilian research tier that we want to get now? I don't think so, right? I mean, there are some things that are nice here. Interstellar networks. We could get some culture going. Would probably be quite nice. We could upgrade our volcanic planet. We have 2 of them. But I'm just, for the build's sake here, I'm just going to. I mean, these are nice upgrades to have, but it doesn't suit our plan very well. Like we said, we have this specific plan of going at a push at around 40 to 45 minutes. I think these upgrades are sort of gonna slow us down a little bit too much. You can experiment around with this a bit. I'm not going to get them. Okay, so
military research complete.
Ending that. Some more research rate.
Reporting in.
We're gonna queue some Hoshikos here. Queue Hoshikos for life.
Where do you
And I don't want these guys chasing scouts, so let's just put them on engage close. And you see, I forgot to return to this as well, but you see we have these scouts here. They're just chilling at our planets. So this way I can spot any aggression coming my way. So that's really nice.
How can I be of service?
More Hoshikos. Let the Harkas keep building. Let's go. Now if you have the time, this is very nice too. If you have the time here, you're gonna get Center for Human Doctrine. This is a really nice planet item that you wanna get at your forward world. So I'm gonna go for that as well. I'm gonna go for putting this on my forward planet here with the volcanic.
Research rate upgrade complete.
And it's just going to buff all of my units. It's gonna be very nice.
Reporting in. More crystal is needed.
We'll keep some more Hoshikos. We want to get the count to about 15 to 20 in the end. So let's just watch for that. Okay, some more research rates. This is nice.
By our survey teams.
Now we have some exotic materials still. So we could try and get our 3rd capital ship right away. Let's just do that. I think that will be very nice. Just have that out of the way, since capital ships require so much of an upfront investment. Actually gonna speed up just a little bit, because now there isn't much going on, so I'm just gonna speed it up a little bit. Let's just just use our influence. You can use your influence for whatever you want, whatever you feel like. I like the pronounced United a little bit, because you can get some extra. You can get some free military orbit slots on your
Research rate
forward
upgrade
world.
complete.
So this
What
makes
now?
this a little bit easier to hold against any early aggression. Okay, so we're not researching anything here. I can just go for some research for
How can I
culture
be of
because we want
service?
to get that eventually. Let's get a Marsa going. And let's get some more Hoshikos.
More crystal is needed. Military research.
Now the Harkas are
complete.
done. So now
What
we're
now?
gonna get... We don't quite have our Hoshiko count to the point where we want yet. But we're gonna wanna mix in some Harkas now with our Hoshikos. And just to mention, Hoshikos are very heavy on crystal. So if you plan on building Hoshikos, you should... oh wait.
How can I be of service?
If you plan on building Hoshikos, you should
More
be
crystal is needed.
allocating some of your export points to crystal, because otherwise you're just not going to be able to afford them. Once you start building Harkas, you want
Civilian
to allocate
research complete.
much of those crystal
Bring it
export
on
points,
the
or if
big
not
guns.
all, to just
Auction
metal and
is
credits.
underway.
Because Harkas barely cost any crystal. Let's
How can I be
go
of service?
here. So we have Mars already, very nice. We got the Q, concussive.
Military research
We got
complete.
military research. So we have can actually continue building ships now.
Where
How
do you
many
need
are we
me?
gonna get? We're gonna get 18 now. Okay, so now what we do, keep allocating to here. So we get all of our points. And
Reporting in.
now we're gonna get a
You
bunch of Harkas.
failed to place a bid.
So you just,
Additional
I'm just gonna
credits
queue a bunch of
required.
Harkas. I don't care. Now, what this will allow us to do now we have our production going. We're gonna feel even more safe because if our opponent attacks us, we have continuous unit production. Okay, so he's fighting here. And we're gonna have, like, because we started Akan, because we went for this economic start, what's going to happen now is we're going to have just about the economy to keep queuing upgrades for our Harkas. So you see, you eventually now, before the 40 to 45 minute mark, you want to gonna try and get most, if not all, of the military research here that upgrades your ships. So we're gonna get titanopheric plating for that extra armor. We're gonna upgrade our repair bots. We're gonna go fortified superstructure, efficient generators. We're gonna upgrade the damage on our Harkas here with the Uranite rounds. And we're just gonna go, and if possible, also the recharger droids for our Harkas to get them, or for our Hushikus to get them this extra ability. And it's just gonna give us a massive, like, because we have this insane production now as well, and we're gonna be able to queue all of these upgrades. Our army is just going to explode here. It's going to get really big.
Give
It's
the
going to
orders.
get really upgraded. It's just going to get very strong. And I can tell you, most of your opponents isn't going to be able to deal with this. So let's continue. Since we
Where
have
do you
a
need
bunch
me?
of ships queued here, we're gonna ignore the shipbuilding for a second and just focus on upgrades. So let's get that. We're gonna go and get the titanopheric plating queued up.
Military research complete.
That's nice. We're gonna get this finished. We should get the Center for Human Doctrine on our
Got a
volcanic
job for
planet.
me?
It's very nice.
Where do you need me? Give the order.
And
Fleet
the
deployment.
Harkas are
Acknowledged.
building. Very
Additional
nice,
credits
very nice.
required.
We have credits. Credits for days. We get the upgrade here. Fortified superstructure queued up. It's very nice. Okay, I forgot to mention that as well, but now that you have your Akan into a higher level,
Reporting in.
sufficiently high level where you have inspiring broadcast, you should turn the autocast off on that because you want to use it at the right time, and the autocast isn't going to do that. So turn that off.
Your influence is noted. We have a deal.
Let's see, what else can we do? Do
Where
we
do
have
you need
extra
me?
time here? No, we don't. We have to build more ships. Let's build more ships. And now, if we have some time in between, we might actually want to try and attempt to do some other stuff. What can we do? What can we do? We don't have any logistics slots ready. We want to spend some money to upgrade for logistics. Yes, sure, why not? We can go for an extra logistics slots on our home planet. And just for
Where
good
do you
measure,
need me?
we can queue some culture there, because culture on TSC is going to give us
How
that
can I
little
be
bit
of
of extra
service?
credit income.
Additional credits required.
Let's queue ships. Ships.
How can I be of service? Additional credits required.
Very nice. Very nice, very nice. We're upgrading this, we're upgrading this. We should
Military
get,
research
we're gonna
complete.
get our Oshiko upgrade here. Oshiko upgrade. Use the market to balance your economy out. Black market is quite nice. Very nice,
Logistics
very
upgrade
nice.
complete.
Is there anything else here? I could just preemptively upgrade the volcanic deployment here. Why not? We have the time.
Where do you need me?
Let's do it. Well, queue more ships, queue more ships. More Harkas, more Harkas. Okay, our enemies here.
Military research complete.
More upgrades, more
How
ships.
can I be of service?
Few more ships.
Civilian structure complete.
40 minutes here. Soon gonna be hitting 1,000 supply. We're gonna hit it very shortly. We're upgrading that. We should actually, what we should have done here instead, I think, is that we should have gone for some more research rate. That would have been much better than going for the culture here, I think. Research rate would have been very nice now, because, I mean, since our army is getting so
Civilian
great,
research
we want
complete.
them as upgraded as possible. So, yeah, actually, it's a mistake on my part. The research rate would have been even better. We're gonna get, just because to compensate a little bit, we're gonna get 2 there right away.
Where do you need me?
Oh, we're not building
More
ships.
crystal
My
is
bad.
needed.
An auction
building, keep
is
building.
underway.
Auction for surface mining rate for planet item. That's really nice. I'm gonna bet 3.
How can I be of service? More crystal is
Bid
needed.
3.
Research
bid
rate upgrade
3.
complete.
Research rate upgrade. Now that our research is finishing here, we're gonna get another one going. More damage, please.
Military
Damage.
research complete. Where do you need me?
You have secured the
Ooh,
auction.
and we get the planet item with some extra mining. Can go for that here, perhaps, or crystal mining. No, surface mining rate crystal. Okay, now we can get that on our asteroid, perhaps. No, we can't. Okay. Okay, well then we just get it on our home planet. Nice. More crystal, please.
How can I be of service?
More ships. We forgot to build ships again. Not good. And we get the extra Parkas here. Now, okay, so now, okay,
Military research complete.
we should.
Research
We
rate
don't have
upgrade
any ice
complete.
planets, so we have no easy access to Kalanite here. So I'm just gonna have to gamble to get it from the
Where do you
asteroids.
need me?
I hope I can. Otherwise, to get some more supply here, we're gonna want to get the exotics refinery here, just so that we can get an even larger army. Okay, so now it's 45 minutes. This was a little bit slower, perhaps, than it would have been if I played a little bit more efficiently. But look, we're at basically 1,000 supply. We have some ships still in production, but that's okay. We have, what do we have? We have about 30 Harkas. We have 30 Kobolds, 18 robotics cruisers, a Marsa, a Kol, an Akan, and a bunch of pirates. And they're almost fully upgraded, right? So this is an extremely strong army that you can use to pressure your opponent. And most opponents, they're going to crumble under this. So just for good measure,
How can I be of service?
to demonstrate, let's
underway.
just go attack this bot and kill him. And because we can't upgrade advanced supply control
Exotic
here,
resources have
if
been
possible
located
I
by
will
our
do
survey
that.
teams.
Now we're just going to go for some extra economy upgrades instead. It's going to be very nice.
Additional
Eventually,
credits required.
let that scale.
Where do you need me?
So,
All
you know,
hands,
this is an
prepare for
extremely
phase
strong
jump.
army, okay? So use it to kill your opponent and pressure them. Alright, very nice. Recharge your droids as well on our Hochikos.
Commerce
Finish
upgrade
in quite good
complete.
time.
Bowden
Let's get the this thing for our ship, right? So people like to focus Marsas, so I'm just gonna get it an extra crippled
What can I
hull here.
fix for you? Military research complete.
Yeah.
Reporting in. How can I be of service? Military research needed to expand our fleet supply.
And what do you do after this? So what I like to do after this is I like to use the pressure that this army gives me. If I don't win right away, just with this army, I use the pressure of this army to go for civilian 3. That's the next step. You get civilian 3. You're gonna want to get huge cargo holds, Warnium forging, and yeah, that's basically it, right? I thought there was something else. Oh, and you get exotic refinery as well, of course. This is the point in the build where if you continue here, I'm not going to do that because it would make the video way too long. I think it's very long already. So if we get exotics refinery, we go civilian 3, then we go huge cargo holds, Warnium forging. After that, we try to go military 4, and we're gonna use military 4 to rush the Titan. Okay, so the pressure that we get from amassing this army, pushing our opponent, distracting them, is going to be very well used as a distraction to construct our Titan. And if we don't kill our opponent right away here,
Time is short.
we can have another push then with our Titan. Right. And if that push doesn't work, well, of course, usually the games don't get to that point. But in my opinion, your goal for if your Titan doesn't work to finish your opponent, if the game drags on, you should be trying to go either for civilian 5 tech right away, so you go directly from civilian 3 to civilian 5, and you start upgrading this stuff to snowball your economy and other stuff and production. Or you go civilian 4, and then you go directly to military 5, and you try to use this late game tech, basically, this very high-end late game tech to finish off your opponent.